YouTube is a silly place. There's some good videos, there's some not so good videos, and it's not even just videos, right? One thing I use YouTube for a lot, more than anything else probably, is music mixes. Of course, we have Nintendo Music, right? We have Spotify, we have iTunes, or Apple Music, whatever it's bloody called. Doesn't want to use iTunes anymore? Whatever. There are lots of official ways for you to like pay a subscription, or even you could use YouTube Music, right? Pay a subscription and you listen to some banging tunes whenever you want, make your own playlists, find other people's playlists. It's fine for the most part. I think like Nintendo Music obviously is one that needs a little bit more work, but overall, I don't really have a problem with Spotify or Nintendo Music or Apple Music or whatever else you use, right? SoundCloud maybe? I don't know. But one thing which really doesn't beat it for me is a good old music mix on YouTube. I type in Fruitiger Aero music mix or whatever niche thing you want, Shadow the Hedgehog music to study to, any of this stuff, and it's a great little hour-long, 2-hour-long, 3-hour-long, maybe just 30 minutes of a curated playlist which someone decided to put together. And sure, you get that on Spotify, right, with like, you know, playlists and you can find some, but to me, nothing beats like the pure sincerity of seeing a video in my suggested with a cute little collage of a bunch of old video game stuff or whatever I'm really into at the time, and giving it a listen and hearing, you know, some tracks I've heard a million times, but also some niche and obscure things which someone went out of their way to go and find. Throughout history, music has really felt like something that brings all of us together, right? I feel like that's probably the most popular form of that, right? Obviously, you get passionate with people who are around movies or media or video games or whatever it is, or hobbies and sports and stuff, but music I feel like is the overall, like, the top tier version of that, methinks. And it's no different with these. If you go in the comment section for any of these videos, there'll be comments about how much they liked the playlist or things which they would suggest or the songs I really like. I don't know, it's just cute, it's nice, it makes me feel warm and fuzzy. It's a great bit of internet community time, I guess, one way of saying it. If you still don't understand what I'm talking about or don't really like do what I'm saying, or it's like not really relating to you whatsoever, just think of like, you know, lo-fi mixes, like, you know, lo-fi beats to relax/study to. That is basically what I'm talking about, right? I did that all the time and I was like, probably for the last 10 years really. I think I was like 2016, 2015 when I first started listening to lo-fi beat mixes and stuff and, you know, vibing out to that in school. Before that, what was it? Nightcore? Hopefully not. But anyways, guys, there is so many problems with this format, I feel like, because first off is obviously the copyright issues. You put a music mix together, whether it's video game music or real music, whatever it is, it's very likely to be getting taken down and definitely can't be monetized for someone. So you know it's just pure out of love. They're just doing it because they want to make this cute little playlist for themselves and other people to share. And, you know, we have examples of preservation as well with this. I think it's Silvergunner or Gilversunner, one of the channels, completely removed all of their library because it was made for game preservation of video game tracks. And I'm pretty sure Nintendo just did a full-on takedown of all their tracks. Obviously with Nintendo Music now, but you don't have everything there, right? And that's already a big issue I have with like some of these other services. Like there's a couple websites which have music libraries available, but really it's just from like a preservation standpoint. I don't think people are trying to be greedy to like, oh, I'm gonna play this song for free. People just want to listen to something which they can't otherwise. So really, they're pushed to have this as their only option. Sure, we're having more options available like Nintendo Music and things like that, but even Nintendo Music, there's now, I did a full video on my main channel about Nintendo Music in case you missed that when it came out, but even since then, so many issues have come out with this app about like, oh, the audio quality is different compared to like the existing ones because they've ported the MIDI tracks or like the native tracks from the 3DS and Wii into a new software, and it's messed around with like what the samples were and things. There's so many weird little qualms with that format and that system that really, it's nice to have a good old reliable YouTube playlist. But in the grand old year of 2025, there's something which is very annoying hitting YouTube. Maybe you've heard of it. It's known as AI. Now, people have talked about, you know, the meme AI crap on Instagram, you know, like, oh, name your birth, or which birth date monster are you? And it shows like, I don't know, some weird AI mushroom thing. You know, there's a bunch of crap like that all over the place. You know, whatever, it's like, I guess it's meme bait or whatever. Now, some are like really big, like, brain rot crap. Like, I don't know, the only one I like is John Pork, and I don't even think John Pork's AI. John Pork's a real man. But, I don't know, it's sort of gross in that regard. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, it's an image meme. That's a whole different can of worms which we can go into, but specifically, why, Mads? Why did you bring up all that music stuff? And why are you bringing up AI now? Well, maybe you've put the pieces together, but there's this now horrid practice I've seen, guys, on YouTube of these music playlists, which are entirely AI. From the album cover, which is for the entirety of the YouTube playlist's length, to the fucking music itself. None of it is really made by someone. None of it has that passion or like that yearn for preservation for these songs which you can't get elsewhere. It's sort of just capitalizing on mainly the lo-fi aspect of things. I don't think most of it is trying to capture that Nintendo-y, video gamey, PS1 jungle mix sort of vibe, but I guess they can sometimes. I guess they will soon. There's these huge fucking AI playlists, and they have these stupid fucking names of just like, oh, cat, bubble, sync. There's so many of them which have cropped up now, and the worst part to me is that people don't realize it's AI. You see comments in these videos and they don't even mention, there's no discussion about it being AI. Maybe there is about the album cover art or something, but very little of a proportion of the people watching, clicking, and listening to this realize that none of it was done by a human. And that's just gross. I think the lack of transparency is the one thing I have issue with. And that on top of this sort of bombardment that music on YouTube has gotten since the beginning of YouTube itself, and that the whole reason that these playlists exist in the first place, and the reason I like listening to them, and I think the reason why you like listening to them, is because they've been curated by someone who has a similar interest to us. And again, music, more than art, more than anything in my opinion, is really good at bringing people together and really good at finding common ground amongst people, and having that be controlled by a machine, having that churned out for no other purpose but for monetization. Because here's the thing, guys, right? Most of this music, most of these playlists made by people use copyright music, from video games or whatever. And usually for videos which I make, right, I'll use video game music, or for Let's Plays you'll hear it, because there is sort of like a leeway there where technically you probably shouldn't use it because it is owned by a company, whether it be Nintendo or Sony or whoever. But, if it's a Let's Play and that music is playing in the background, you don't want to get that person strike down. Like, that's just not a good look for you as a company, right? If you're playing Banjo-Kazooie and, you're running around doing a little Let's Play of it, and then Microsoft decide to, take down your, little funny Let's Play with a bird and a bear, how does that reflect on the company? A terrible look. So it's like, there's almost this sort of unwritten rule and sort of nod of the head that this is something which we get the okay for. Again, it's like, oh, you probably, guys, listen, as long as you're behaving yourself, as long as you're having fun and not going too crazy, you can do it. And that's why, you have actual issues when people just upload the full albums of video game tracks and they usually get taken down. Again, that's like the most shallow version of describing that. I'm sure you go into much more detail, or you could do your own research about it. Again, I'm just a buffoon online. And of course, with it being owned by these companies, you can't just monetize a track of theirs, right? If you take a song from Koji Kondo and you just upload it to YouTube, you can't monetize that. That's not chill. That's not okay. That's not oakley dokley. It will probably get removed and your account will get suspended or something along those lines. But look, oh, it's AI. Oh, wait. This music has never existed before. I technically made this music. Oh, wait, I guess I can monetize the whole thing. Wait a second, why don't I make a channel which is filled with AI playlists and I just spam them, post them every single day, hour-longs, people chuck them on in the background, and I get so much dough, so much bread, keep the bread coming in. Like, that is really what this is. And I think that's contrast is what makes this so infuriating for me, at least, is because sometimes I'll be listening to a music mix, Fruitiger Aero music mix, a Nintendo DS nostalgia, one of those bloody music playlists. Mario Kart's coming out. Let them put on a Mario Kart playlist, and then YouTube will autoplay some other album. I'm like, wait, I've never seen this. Some of them will even have cute little visuals similar to that, those little compilation images which people do, where it's character in the middle, or maybe a console in the middle, and they have a collage of a bunch of images, and there's Animal Crossing-y stuff, lots of little cute things. I saw this one fucking video that its album cover, its thumbnail, literally had PlayStation on the side and this cute little low poly cat, and then I had a closer look. I gave it a peep, gave it a quick hear, and immediately you can tell, if you're looking for it, you can tell that it's not done by a human. And it was horrible. It's absolutely horrible to see that. And again, seeing people in the comments, whether they're bots, I don't think so. I think there's actually people getting basically lied to, and there's no reference of it being AI. Like, you have to look for these clues, and I just feel bad for the people who aren't aware of this, want to support people, maybe not aware. It's just so disgusting. It feels like the most grifty, gross, crappy thing to happen alongside something which is nothing but love, right? People are making these playlists, again, not to be paid for, just for fun, just to have people listen to them. And it's sad when you see those getting taken down and the same niche, the same genre getting filled with shit. Literal shit. It's not good. It's not good. It is just regurgitated crap. And obviously, it's AI. It's gonna vastly improve in the next months, if not days, if not weeks, if not whatever, minutes. Oh shit. The song is now 0.3 times better. Oh, wow. At the end of the day, it's shitty, grifty bollocks. And I don't like it. I guess you can like it if you want. It's up to you. But hopefully, you guys will have a better eye out into noticing this stuff. Because everyone's talking about AI art and getting an eye for AI art and where you can tell, oh, is this AI? Is this not AI? You need the same thing for audio. You need to tell that this shit is AI, and it's low fidelity, it has no consistent melody, it is shit right now. And again, these people think they're bloody geniuses for coming up with this idea. And AI is a bit of an evil buzzword right now. I know there's good stuff to come out of it with medicine specifically. People getting surgery done by artificial intelligence because it needs more precision than a human can do, so there's like less errors to come from it. Everyone knows there is healthy and good ideas to come from advancements in technology. But when it's something like this, where the only benefit is for grifters to make more money and for artists to suffer, I really don't see much benefit in this. Sure, you could argue that it's helping people relax. It's helping people relax. Okay, well, if you are someone who's helping people relax, why don't you put some more work into it? Why don't you at least have some fun little visualizers you do, or actually try making some music yourself, or learning music theory, or, you could have some fun little change to it, or you have like a fake radio presenter, or if you're gonna use AI, be at least creative with it. Don't just chuck shit in a machine and call each fucking name of a track bubble, simple, cat, dog, shit, bollocks. Don't have it just be single. That's a thing as well, guys. Check the descriptions, and if every single track name is a single word, it's AI. It's like, why don't we, just think about it, right? Why don't we have AI help to teach people music? Why don't you use it for that instead of just doing this? Because again, you're not doing this because you love it. You're doing it because you're trying to make some money. And I don't know, maybe I'm just wired differently, but whenever I'm doing something where the only purpose is to make money, I am so effing slow with it. I'm not really money motivated. I only really do things because I really want to, because I really love to, or something like that. And I felt like, specifically, I wanted to talk about this to help bring people's awareness to it, because again, I haven't seen people talk about this at all, really, at all. Apart from in little group chats and things, or maybe if the thumbnail art looks kind of AI, people will comment in the description of that video being like, oh, that's AI, or at least trying to combat the comments. But again, try and be a bit more aware about this, guys, if you can. If you've fallen for it, how does that make you feel now? Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious, actually, if any of you didn't realize that any of these music mixes were AI. You're like, oh, that sounds kind of weird. I guess it's okay. And you might click off, or you might continue listening to it. Or you just don't care. Let me know. I'm curious what you guys' opinions on this is. But I think no matter what your opinion on this is, whether you're pro AI or anti AI or somewhere in the middle, I think we can all agree that there should be transparency in people knowing if something is AI or not. I think that's the biggest issue. That is really where it becomes a problem, because even if you look at all those stupid AI memes on Instagram, people know they're AI and then they treat them a specific way. With these, not that many people realize that it's made by a machine, and I think having that transparency is incredibly important to have right now. But maybe I'm crazy. Maybe this is a stupid take. Let me know in the comments below. I'd be very curious to hear what you guys have to say and to learn. So if you guys have any information, any crazy takes, let's hear it.